Alright, so here today we do got some very fun stuff to go over. We have officially the newest banner being the Escrow banner out on JP. Not only is that banner out, we officially have the free banner for 2024, and this free banner is probably the best one ever created, and it could be the best free banner ever in general, right? Because it has so many good characters on here and so many exclusive festival characters. Today we're going to go through it. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. Helps out a ton, truly appreciated. Let's go through what we got over here. So, first things first, go to the Summons tab. Escanor is your main premier banner, looking absolutely Chad-like. Love it, love it, love it. We have over here again the power-up banner. Over here is the last free banner we just already had. It's not a bad banner, but again, it's more so for new players, geared towards helping people build up their account CC and their GP points. For this one over here, they're not, trying to do GP points. They're trying to give you heavy hitters, some strong characters, and I think they perfectly excelled at that. Look at it. You have, again, first at the 300 mark, you got Trader Meliodas, one of the best PvE units known to man. This is literally one of the best characters. For your players, you get him, you're getting a very good head start in most content and such, being the PvE territory. You then have Goddess Liz, more of a fodder pick. I'm sorry. As time has progressed, she's definitely much more of a weaker character, and she just doesn't really have a team, theoretically. Got his team, but she dies real quick. So there is that. But again, still a good character to have. If you already have Melly because you got him for free last time, then just pick up your nice little copy of Ellie. It's fine, right? Over here on the other ends, we have 450 with the Merlin, Festival Merlin, which is a very good pickup for a lot of endgame players. Can't hear you complain. Most of us don't have her 6/6. Maybe we do. My luck sucks. I don't have her 6/6, so for me, that's actually a top tier pick. Yes, my Escanor is 6/6, so to me, that's kind of a waste pick. But hey, Merlin has seen a lot of revivability. Revivability. That's crazy. Write that down. Wow, reliability, okay, because she got revived, because she now has a relic that supports Sins. So remember, she's a character you're using on bench, so most of us want her 6/6 if we're trying to run Escort teams or other Sin teams, because she, again, has to be on bench for most of those teams. So again, not a bad pickup. Over here at the 600 mark, we have probably the greatest pick in history, actually. We have LR Margaret and LR Lostfin Meliodas. Why is this the greatest pick? GoGo, you're capping. No, I'm not. Because you're not only just getting the base Lostfin or the base Margaret, you're actually getting the LR variants. That means, technically speaking, if you don't have these characters LR, you are picking up 100 free LR coins just like that. You're saving 100 LR coins. Because at some point, you're planning on probably LRing these characters. And remember, the least LR'd character in the game probably is Margaret, because most players just didn't want to LR her. They didn't need her. And then again, LV Melly. By the time players or new players or whatever players got to LV Melly, already the new characters were sort of released, where it was like Escanor, people were more hyped for him. Then it was Ellie, which people just gave up on Melly by that point, because Elizabeth was much better than anybody that ever released, right? So remember, these two characters are theoretically the least LR characters, for most players. So again, it's good. Yes, if you already have them LR, it's a waste for you, basically, right? Because if you have LV Melly LR, it's a high chance, probably, if you've been playing for so long and such, you might have him already 6/6. Margaret also, you might have her 6/6. She's reappeared many times. So for this, sure, for that case, I could definitely see the anger there, but for the most part, it isn't bad, and I will definitely say that if you are looking forward to a 100 free LR coins, if you don't have them, it's a huge pickup. It's definitely a huge pickup. Now, we're going to go into who would I pick if I was in the situation, correct? For the first one, very simple. Do I have Meliodas? If the answer is yes, I go Elizabeth. If the answer is no, I don't have Meliodas, pick up Meliodas. Meliodas is far better than Elizabeth. He is the better character. He now has a relic, by the way. He is going to be an absolute carry through all PvE content. He is a Chad of the Century. 10 out of 10 character. If I have Meliodas, go Elizabeth. Because again, his dupes don't really matter. Doesn't really affect you. It's always good to have more box CC and an LR and a UR character that can help you in other content and such. So for new players, do I have this character? Ask that to yourself. If the answer is nope, don't got Melly, you're picking Melly, buddy. If you got Melly, pick this. For any player that's asking, who do I dupe? Who would I dupe? Ellie has fallen off completely. She's useless everywhere. So if you were to dupe somebody, you literally just dupe Melly, even though he's PvE exclusive theoretically, right? Again, it doesn't really matter. Whoever you want to dupe, just dupe. Most of us might have 6/6 Melly and not Ellie. Just 6/6 Ellie. That doesn't really matter. Right? Just do whatever you want. In that case, who's more dupe reliant? Doesn't matter, but Ellie would dupes because she works in PvP theoretically more than Melly does nowadays. You can do that, correct? But again, Melly is the PvE character, and he carries in PvE. So if you're a new player, you need Melly. Between these two, here's my honest take. If you ask yourself, do I have Escanor? Ask yourself that, correct? If the answer is no, you're getting Escanor. Screw Merlin. Merlin is dog crap in most things. Hear me out before you get mad. Escanor will help you in every PvE content if you can't clear them. Remember that. That death damage is very important for a lot of players because there's a lot of story stages that he can bypass because of his gimmick being death damage. So if you're a brand new player, I don't get it. I don't really care if you're like, oh, but Merlin's better. No. Escanor is better. He'll bypass a lot of stages for you. He will help you get through a lot of Demonic Beast content also just by existing because, again, death damage is a huge carry between bird, between deer, between whatever. Huge carry. So remember, Escanor is better. If you are a player that says, okay, I have Escanor, do I just pick up Merlin? Yes, pick up Merlin then. Correct? It's always collection and it's always have the character because the character will work somewhere. Remember, where does Merlin excel? She is a god tier farming unit, right, for just farming gold dungeon and other dungeons quickly. She's god tier for that. She is also now a passive unit on bench for most of us endgame players. So if you're an endgame player, you already have both copies of each one and one. Escanor does not function anymore in PvP. He doesn't function anymore in PvP. So there's no point in duping him, correct? Yes, you might get his thing for PvE content. It's an extra revive. Who gives a damn? Get Merlin. I'd rather you dupe Merlin because Merlin is literally sitting there on benches on most teams for Sins because her relic is so freaking good. Not only that, she also still works and functions on Unknown Team in Chaos Arena. She was still literally collapsing during last season and still also working on just functional teams here and there with Hell and such. Because again, Unknown Team is very debuff meta oriented. So remember that. So again, I would say that if you were to dupe somebody and you have both of them, you're duping Merlin because again, her relic and everything for Sin's team is very good and she still functions in PvP. Here's a character more relegated to PvE and the dupes really don't help him per se because again, if you die in PvE, there's no point, right? Really. So I would say that that's the case, but again, if you're a new player, you need Escanor. Don't listen about Merlin. Yes, Merlin is better now because she works here and there, but no, Escanor is the PvE carry. He will cheese so much story content. There's a lot of story content that has so many issues, and those story contents are only cheesed by Escanor or Albedo or counter characters. So again, you might not have those characters, so you're forced to be using Escanor. Remember that, all right? Good, simple, easy. That's my take. For this one over here, this one's a little bit more controversial. I know people are going to be mad at me. Again, what I would say is this. For a new player, theoretically, if you're already picking Trinmelli, you really can't use LV Melli, right? You already have Trinmelli. Why are you even using LV Melli, right? Also realize for a new player, LV Melli is horrible without his relic. He really wants his relic, otherwise he's not really doing too much, correct? Without his relic, LV Melli is a mediocre character at best in my opinion. With his relic, he's really good, right? But again, if you're getting Trainer Melli as a new player, why would you want LV Melli? I would just go Margaret and get LR Margaret, right? LR Margaret, first off, for just the point of Margaret and the point of LR, she's busted. Correct. LR does like a bit of a change, not like an insane change, but it's base Margaret. Base Margaret is very good, cleansing everything for boss content, for everything for new players. You need her. For now existing players, what would you do? Correct. So new players, I would pick Margaret over Melli. If you already have somehow LR and Margaret, then just pick the other LR. It doesn't really matter. Correct. For existing players, if you don't have both of them, in that case, I would still recommend Margaret. I would. If you LR Margaret just like that, it is huge because for final bosses and other content, it's great. Now, if you have Margaret, correct, you're like, oh, but I don't have her 6/6. I don't give a damn. I don't care. LR Melli, you're saving 100 LR coins and your box CC is like skyrocketing. So if I were you, what you would do is this. If you have one LR the other one 100%. If both are LR in that situation, then just go for the dupes you need more. In my opinion, Melli is kind of fallen off. There's no reason to dupe him anymore. I would just do Margaret as she still has her goddess team and she still needs to be there. So again, until she falls off that team, you need her. So again, keep her on that team. What I would say is, again, for new players, Margaret is still better because you're already using a Meliodas. You can use multiple Meliodases, right? So it's always good to have this character. For players that already have one, pick the other one. Doesn't matter, just pick the other one, okay? It's free LR. That's all you gotta do. For people that, again, want to dupe, who is better duping? Dupe this. Okay, she's better duped, right? Because again, this has fallen off. Again, you need a relic for him to function, and that relic is, I think, stuck on Nidhogg. So most of us don't have the chance to get his relic. Again, that's kind of the case. So yeah, there's that. Remember that also. Her relic is on the deer, much easier to get. So again, keep this in mind too. But again, that's my take. That's my take on the entire banner. I could be wrong. But on the side over here also, these are the banner units that they're providing us, and they're not bad either. So for example, if I was a new player, right? This is huge. If I was a new player, this is huge. If I was a new player, that's huge. That's huge. I would say that's huge. But we've had her so many times. That's huge. That's huge. That's huge. That's huge. That's huge. That's still huge. That's still huge, right? Because you get LR. So at least I have them at some point. Whenever I get LR them, I'm already level 90, you know, fully awakened, which is still good. So most of the banner is pretty good for new players. Again, not bad for endgame players. A lot of us have good choices. Who am I picking, by the way? Don't care. Both, I think, are 6/6 for me, unironically. Here, it's Merlin. I don't have her 6/6 at all. Over here, it's both are 6/6 for me, but I'll just pick Margaret because why not? You know what I mean? So that's my take, but at least I got Merlin, so to me it's still a W. And is it worth to spend gems on this, right? So remember, you're going to have 14 days, you're going to have 14 multis total. 14 multis times a wonderful number of 30, because again, each multi is valued at, again, 30 gems, right? So just remember that. But it's gonna push you basically to where it pushed you last year, which is 420. Yeah, 420, funny number, right? 420. That will force you to put gems in this banner. Now, is it worth it to put gems in this banner? If you think it's not worth it to put gems in this banner, you're high. You're putting 180 gems all together, and you're walking away with an LR character, and you're walking away with, again, a additional festival character. Bare minimum, you have to put in 30 gems and get the middle one. You have to, okay? Because that's worth it. Most of us don't have them 6/6. Unless you 6/6 everyone here, then this whole video is not for you. Why are you watching it? You know what I mean? So most of us, we have to go to 450. We can decide if we already have both characters LR'd and you don't really care about them, you don't even use them anymore at the bottom, the 150 may not be worth it for you. But for me, I will always say that this banner is worth it. It's 150 gems for a guaranteed copy of a festival character that in the end can really much help you in other content. Correct? Like, still, whatever Margaret is, she still till today works in Funnel Boss. Whatever Margaret is, she still works constantly in Chaos Arena. Whatever Margaret is, she still works in PvE content. Whatever she is, she's a good character. So for me, I'll continue to use her and dupe her. In my opinion, if you've already 6/6 Margaret, would you go for 150 for a melee copy? I personally wouldn't, but if you would like to, you can. What I will say is this, for all new players, if you don't have these characters, you have to spend the gems. The 180 gems are so worth it. So remember that. That is how it's going to work. Yes, 180 gems. 30 gems for one festival character here is all you gotta spend. Spend it, do it. You have 19 days, you have time to decide, you have plenty of time to save. I did the gem guide. I clearly showed you that if you're a new player, if you're a whatever player, you will have both enough gems for the escort banner and this banner over here. So don't mess it up. Take care of this banner. As soon as it is ready to be used, do it. It's such a good banner. It is worth the gems. Again, if you have both of these 6/6, obviously it's not. If you have both of these LR'd already and you don't care for the dupes, then it's not worth it. For me, if I had a 5/6 Margaret, I would go for it. If I had a 5/6 melee, I wouldn't go for it. That's my opinion, right? 150 for a melee. I mean, it wouldn't be bad. Right, I would just 6/6 it for the memes. But yeah, so we'll see. I'd probably skip it though. Let's be honest here. All right? Take care.